07 on glide path on course 1 mile. Sure. 07 on glide path on.
On the night of the 28th of September 2006, two American sniper teams, drawn from Delta Platoon of SEAL Team 3, deployed into the city of Ramadi in western Iraq. Their mission was to establish two outposts in the Al-Mala'ab District in the city's southeast, from where they could provide fire support to the 1st Battalion, the 506th Regiment, which was scheduled to move into Al-Mala'ab the following morning and conduct a clearance operation. Accordingly, and under the cover of darkness, the two sniper teams, reinforced by a small detachment of Iraqi soldiers, made their way through the back roads of Al-Mala'ab and set up two outposts covering the western sector of the district, with one team establishing itself on the roof of a 3-story building, whilst the other deployed in a similar-sized house on the opposite side of the road. Once in position, the Navy SEALs remained in their sniper nests until dawn of the 29th of September, when the 1st of the 506th commenced their advance into Al-Mala'ab. Soon afterwards, the two SEAL teams got into action as groups of enemy insurgents emerged on the streets below, and over the course of the mid-morning, the American snipers would account for 2 enemy fighters killed and a 3rd wounded. However, as a result of these engagements, the local population became alerted to the fact that there were American snipers operating in the district, with a US Navy report detailing that. After the engagements, the local populace blocked off the roads in the area to keep civilians away and to warn insurgents of the presence of the coalition sniper element. In the late morning, enemy fighters attacked the two outposts of automatic weapons fire from a moving vehicle. The SEALs fired back and stood their ground. Shortly thereafter, an enemy fighter shot a rocket-propelled grenade at the 3-story building. Among the 4-man sniper team deployed on the roof of the 3-story building at the time was Petty Officer Michael Monsoor, who was armed with a Mark 48 machine gun and sighted on the edge of the rooftop, covering the main approach of the insurgent attacks. Immediately to the right of Monsoor's firing position was his team leader, Lieutenant Michael Sorelli, whilst on his left was SEAL Doug Wallace, both of whom were equipped with snipers. The 4th member of the team, Chief Warrant Officer 3 Benjamin Olsen, was, in the meantime, holding a position directly behind Monsoor. After a morning of heavy fighting around their outpost, midday on the 29th of September brought a brief lull in the enemy attacks, and with the 4 SEALs having been awake for almost 24 hours, it was decided that 2 of the men would have a short rest, whilst the other 2, Petty Officer Monsoor and Lieutenant Sorelli, would hold security and protect the position. But within a matter of minutes of this decision being taken, a grenade was suddenly thrown onto the rooftop from an unknown location. In an instant, Petty Officer Michael Monsoor jumped up from his seat, realised the threat, and shouted grenade to warn his SEAL brothers. Then, without hesitation and with complete disregard for his own life, he dove down onto the grenade and smothered it with his body, just seconds before it detonated underneath him. Lieutenant Michael Sorelli later explained that, "Of the 4 of us on the rooftop, Mikey probably had the greatest chance of survival. All he had to do was turn the other direction, jump, and he would have lived. But due to Mikey's character and his quick train of thought, he knew that if he chose self-preservation, which is sometimes needed on the battlefield, Doug and I would most likely perish. Testament to him, he didn't even hesitate." As a result of the grenade blast, Petty Officer Michael Monsoor was seriously wounded and suffered injuries to most of his body, whilst Doug Wallace, Lieutenant Michael Sorelli, and Chief Warrant Officer 3 Benjamin Olsen all sustained minor shrapnel wounds to their legs. In the immediate aftermath of the blast, enemy small arms and RPG fire began to target the 2 sniper outposts, during which time Chief Warrant Officer 3 Benjamin Olsen rushed over to Monsoor, dragged him out into the centre of the rooftop and began to administer first aid. As he did so, Lieutenant Sorelli crawled over to a nearby radio and requested for immediate support from the other sniper team, who not only disengaged from their outpost, but then ran across the street through a hail of enemy fire and climbed up to the roof of the 3-story building. On reaching the top, the second team helped the 4 wounded SEALs down and into a back alley, where Petty Officer Michael Monsoor, Doug Wallace, and Lieutenant Michael Sorelli were loaded onto the back of a Bradley armoured vehicle and evacuated out to a nearby aid post. Although Chief Warrant Officer 3 Benjamin Olsen was also wounded, he opted to remain behind with the second sniper team and help them recover any equipment that had been left in the outposts. Lieutenant Sorelli continues, "They threw myself, Mikey and Doug into the Bradley and then we took off for an aid station. Again, it seemed like it took ages. It probably took around 20-25 minutes. All I remember is another SEAL doing chest compressions on Mikey to keep him alive. He was declared deceased when we got to that aid station. For his actions on the 29th of September 2006, Petty Officer Michael Monsoor would be posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor. Not only had he selflessly and courageously laid down his life for his country, but he had done so in the knowledge that he saved the lives of 3 of his brothers in arms. He was the only one on the rooftop that day who had a clear and easy escape route from the grenade, but instead he decided, in a matter of milliseconds, to put the lives of others before his own and throw himself onto the grenade, knowing full well that it would most certainly kill him. By his undaunted courage, fighting spirit, and unwavering devotion to duty in the face of certain death, Petty Officer Monsoor gallantly gave his life for his country, thereby reflecting great credit upon himself and upholding the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service.